from Ohio.
So I just want to just clear the irony here that the person who's speaking right now has been a small business owner my entire life, and my colleague has never owned a business. So I know exactly what drives small businesses. I've read many statements from small business owners that are thankful to President Trump for his tariffs policies, because what it's doing is it's bringing manufacturing back to America. Now, I will acknowledge that there is a Payne Street, but it's not in Main Street, it's in Martha's Vineyard, where the globalists, the climate change cultists are waiting for their senators to arrive after we leave here in Washington, D.C., to make the annual pilgrimage in which they talk about the plight of the little people while they fly there on their private jets and enjoy caviar in their mansions. But let me tell you what's happening in Chillicothe, Ohio. They're happy that there's more Kenworth trucks being made than Freightliners in Mexico. They're happy that the products that are made by working-class Ohioans are now on a level playing field by jobs that were shipped overseas, chasing slave labor that was enriching and building those mansions in Martha's Vineyards. Now, it's ironic, too, and quite a shift, because there was a day when Democrats loved to advocate for the working man. I mentioned JFK. Sean Fain, the president of the United Auto Workers, has been a staunch supporter of President Trump's tariff policies, despite campaigning aggressively against President Trump, because he didn't know if he could trust him, but he knows now he can. And he knows that President Trump's actually putting the interest of the American worker above everything else. Another Sean, evidently you have to be named Sean to run a union. Another Sean O'Brien, head of the Teamsters. I'm young enough, but still remember that maybe the unions were the ones that supported Democrats. But here we are. Sean O'Brien says there's no secret what our position is as a union on tariffs. He supports them because he knows those tariffs will produce more economic activity here in America. So, Mr. President, this is a very clear situation. My Democrat colleagues kept us in this chamber for 27 hours in a row to block a bill that prevented the largest tax increase in American history. Had that bill not passed, I'll tell you what would have happened to small businesses. They would have been destroyed. And there wasn't a single Democrat that voted to prevent that tax increase. 27 hours, in fact, to block that tax increase. They blocked no income tax on tips, no income tax on overtime. Now, in Martha's Vineyard, they don't worry about income tax on tips or overtime because they probably don't even pay it when they go out, and maybe they don't even like to pay it to their employees. They blocked a $2,200 child tax credit that would have gone to zero. And maybe on Martha's Vineyard, they don't care about child tax credits, but in Chillicothe, Ohio, Coshocton, Ohio, and Moreno, Ohio, they absolutely do. They blocked $1,000 Trump accounts, money that will go into an index fund that could grow, so when that baby becomes an adult, they have a nest egg, finally, so they don't have to live in their parents' basement, and they can afford a home or a car. And by the way, let me just clear this misconception up. Two things, and I'll end from it so that we can get moving today to confirm the nominees that President Trump deserves. Number one, my colleague in Massachusetts may not know this because he may not be somebody who's in the automobile market quite often. Car prices are down. Let me repeat that again. Car prices are down this year. That means people are paying less money for cars right now than they were at the beginning of the year. And guess what? 51% of cars sold in this country at the beginning of the year were made in this country. Now it's 56, and we're heading right to the 60s, and we're not going to stop. Because when I was a kid, that number used to be in the 80s. So these tariff policies have been an incredible success. And let me just speak to the Chamber of Commerce as a former small business owner. To say that the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is an advocate for small business is like saying Hamas is an advocate for Israel's best interests. And with that, I ask unanimous consent to waive the mandatory quorum call with respect to the Birch nomination.
May
Is there an objection?
Mr. President, be recognized. Just a response, briefly.
Is there an objection?
I object.
No, no, no.
Yes.
Is there an objection to your request?
Yes. No.
Mr. President, may I restate my objection, my request that I be allowed to finish for 1 minute? By unanimous consent.
Unanimous consent request is pending.
Nobody
There's
objects.
still
Thank
time
you.
remaining on the nomination.
Okay. I will just say this. Right now, here's what American consumers know. Here's what American small businesses know. Unemployment is going up. Inflation is going up. Tariffs are going up. It's a tax. It's a sales tax that all Americans are paying. It's having a profoundly negative impact on our nation. People are having Pepto-Bismol moments in the marketplace, on Main Street, across our country. They're having Maalox moments in the marketplace. Their stomachs are churning as they look at all of this economic data. Lutnick and Besant are the Smoot-Hawley of the 21st century. We already did this once with Smoot-Hawley. They're repeating history. As Mark Twain said, there's no educational benefit to the second kick of a mule. This country got kicked in the behind by Smoot-Hawley, and Lutnick Besant and President Trump are about to have that second kick affect every American in a profoundly negative way. I thank you, Mr. President, for granting me that unanimous consent 1 minute in the continuation of the debate, and I yield back.